Do you want to know more about what it's like to live in the poor slums of Rio de Janeiro? Find out as we talk about City of God.
Pretty good.
Hello,
Pretty good.
thank you. I'm Lucas from Strike the Sun MD. I forgot the name of my channel. I've
See, you
changed
can't
it so
even
many
remember.
times. Yeah, I've changed it too many times. And we are here on Mr. Nothing's channel, Around the Weird, to talk about another movie for this month at the end of the year, City of God. Mr. Nothing.
Yeah, hey, pretty interesting movie, pretty sad and kind of shocking at times kind of movie. City of God, directed by Fernando Meirelles and Katia Lund, written by Braulio, I can't read my own handwriting, Braulio Mandarani, starring Leandro Firmino, Seu Jorge, and Felipe Hagensen, who is the voice of Rocket, plays Rocket, the narrator of the movie. A lot of interesting people. I should point out Katia Lund is mostly known for this movie, but Fernando Meirelles has some crossover in the United States. City of God had some crossover in general, but Meirelles also directed The Constant Gardener, which is another Oscar-nominated movie that was made in the mid-2000s. But I don't think they made anything else recently that had crossover appeal, but this pretty much like catapulted him to some international acclaim.
Hmm. Interesting. I didn't know about any of that. This is my first Brazilian movie. Oh, no, it's my second Brazilian movie that I've ever seen. I watched one from maybe the 50s or 60s, which was a fantastic film. If I could remember anything about it, it was a very dreamlike movie. And once I remember the name, I will give a shout out to you. But it was my first more modern movie, definitely 21st century, in from Brazil. And I think you had a much higher opinion of it than I did. I felt it was fantastic, but it did some things from a technical perspective in terms of the storytelling that I don't really like in a movie, but it's just my own taste. But it doesn't take away from like how powerful the movie is, I guess, because the at the heart of it and the root of it is like this is actually really well made and a very like a fantastic story full of rich characters and lots of interesting things that it wants to say about society and in the slums in Rio in so on and so forth, but I had my qualms with the movie that kind of brought it down for me just from certain techniques that were used that I didn't like. How did you feel?
Oh, yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I do like I thought like some of the characters were really cool. Like Benny is like one of the coolest characters that I've seen in recent memory. The music was pretty good, and
Mm,
the themes of heaven and hell, because the movie's called City of God. They frequently talk about purgatory and being in hell, and things like that. That I like how they're playing around with that. But I do think that the decision to tell the story from Rocket's perspective sometimes feels weird. Like they could have told it from like one of the soldiers' perspectives, one of the gang members' perspective, or even like you could have told it from like Lil Ze's perspective. Or something like that. But instead, you're telling it from Rocket, who's not even a part of the gang, is just watching it from afar. How does he even know some of these things are happening? Given he does become a journalist, so maybe this is a little bit of a journalist kind of embellishment or something like that. I don't know. That's an added layer of the story when you think about it. But I thought it was a pretty solid movie, and at the same time, like they're not working with like great equipment or anything like that. Like the camera work seems very basic, even guerrilla sometimes, with how some of the scenes look. But it still looks pretty good. The movie is pretty spectacular in that way.
Yeah, I think the I think there were some pretty striking imagery in the movie, and interesting ways of sharing information, and transitioning from story to story, and showing how all these things were interconnected. That was pretty good. My main issues, I don't like flashbacks. This was kind of like in media res, like it starts, the end is at the beginning, and this kind of thing, and then you go back. To be honest, I'm okay with that. But then there are like flashbacks in this thing, and it's just, like, for example, the character Otto, who we will get to later, because of oh my gosh, what's his name? The guy who was a vigilante and then became a criminal, working with Carrot. I forget, knockout something.
Knockout Ned.
Yeah, knockout Ned. There was a flashback there that was particularly egregious and annoying to me. There are other flashbacks too that were annoying to me. I don't like flashbacks. I don't particularly like voiceovers that are explaining, well, this is what happened to me at this time, either. And these things really detracted from me enjoying the story to the fullest extent. And these are some of the main techniques of the movie.
There's an episode of Rick and Morty that I always think of when someone starts a movie with a flashback, and there's a episode where Morty is forced to read somebody's like script, and it begins with a flashback, and Morty gets angry and he says, we shouldn't begin our stories with flashbacks. We should begin them where they start, and I kind of agree with that, even though I'm fine with like flashbacks some of the time, but that's what I always think of when they pop up.
Yeah, I think I really loved the opening scene. Though, to be fair, I thought that was really well paced. Like the guy is sharpening his knife on the piece of leather. People are cooking and dancing, and the chicken escapes, and Lil Z, brings his army to go. Did I call him the wrong name?
No, that's his name. Lil
Okay,
Z.
you looked at me funny. I was like, I think it's Lil Z. Lil Z and his army go to chase the chicken, and then they run into Rocket, and they tell him, "Get that chicken for us," and he's about to, but then the cops show up, and then we get the spiel about how you're. I forget how he put it, but basically you're always between a rock and a hard place. Between the criminal underclass and the police, both of whom can ruin your life. I really loved that scene. I thought it was fantastic. I was like, oh, we're in it. This is going to be a great movie. And then it went into a flashback. And I was like so angry about that.
Yeah, if you run, the beast catches you. If you stay, the beast eats you. And so
Yeah.
everyone is the chicken in the city of God.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really powerful. But then it goes back to his childhood, his young childhood, where there's his brother, not Moose, Goose, runs with, well, he's playing soccer, and yeah, he's playing soccer and the ball is kicked past him and people are, insulting him. That's when we're introduced to Lil Z, who at that time is Lil Dice,
Mm-hmm.
who has his friend Benny, and they're trying to take the ball. And then you're introduced to the three main characters of this story, who are Shaggy, who I believe is Benny's brother, Goose, who is Rocket's brother, older brothers, and then
Clipper.
Clipper. Yeah, Clipper. And they rob gas trucks and do stick ups and this kind of thing for petty cash. And they pay off people who help protect them from the police. And that is their life. They are in the slums. There is no running water. There is no there's no paved roads and no electricity. Or I'm forgetting what.
No, not no real electricity. They're using candles.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No electricity, no running water, no nothing. Nobody cares about these people. Um, and but the police seem to have a presence around here, to, I don't know, keep the future inmates in line, so to speak. They realize that they're doing this all for petty cash, but they need to hit it big if they're ever going to get out of the slums. And Lil Dice has an idea while they're smoking pot, to go to a brothel or an inn that works as a brothel,
Yeah.
and rob the rich people who go to pay for the girls there or to spend the night with their mistresses there, whatever the case may be. It seems to have full service everything there, so this is quite a fancy place. Goose, I believe it is, yeah, Goose does not treat Lil Dice very well or like his ideas or just like him at all. He's constantly hitting him. But Lil Dice has that dog in him.
Hmm.
And he is a ruthless guy. At that age, he's a little too young, but he's got big paws on the puppy, because he's going to grow into them and he's going to be a bad dude. But he tells him, they go on this mission and Goose smacks him again, smacks him around, and he says, don't do that. Don't touch me again. Don't put your fingers at me. Don't, do that. Because he's got the ambition to be the boss of the ghetto, one day, which we find out a little bit later. He's left out as lookout while the boys go on and do their thing. And if the police are to come, he needs to shoot a window so that they can hear it and get out. They make a rule not to kill anybody, and they don't kill anybody, but they rob a lot of people as they're robbing these naked people. One of them, I don't remember who it is, but one of them watches an orgy or a threesome or something that's happening for a while, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Because there was no reason for that, but it just, like, I don't know. To me, it just added to that character as being a little, forget which one it was, but it was funny to me. Anyway, they hear the gunshot, they hear the window breaking, they skedaddle, and then the police are after them. And would you like to tell what happens when they get back to their slums?
Yeah. There's a lot that happened. So
There is a lot. So much happens in every frame. Well, first of all, Goose's father is a very strict, authoritarian kind of father. Probably for the better, given the situation that they're in. But he wants his sons, especially Rocket, to be on the straight and narrow as much as possible. He has Rocket studying, seems to have given up on Goose, except he wants him to not steal. We learn this a little bit later, but anyway, I'll let you continue.
So, quite a bit happens from here. Uh, they they end up stealing a car to get away from the police, and they run it into a restaurant where we see Shorty there. Shorty becomes an informant for the police. And the boys all kind of go their separate ways. So Clipper ends up finding God, I believe, and
Yes.
it kind of leaves the gang. Shaggy falls for a girl in the favela, and wants to be with her. So they try to get together, although he's kind of a bit of a slacker. And then yeah, Goose's father is an authoritarian, doesn't want him running with a gang, and challenges Rocket to kind of like keep him on the straight and narrow. And so
Yes.
the and all while that is happening, because some people died in the motel for unknown reasons, at least at this point, the cops are now just arbitrarily arresting anyone they come across in the hopes that they'll find the murderers. I do think the movie does a really good job of kind of pointing the finger at the systems of power, and while not actually, coming out and saying, it's the people in power who are causing all of this. Although I do think the movie probably should have done that a little bit more. But it's doing a pretty good job of kind of pointing the finger there.
Yeah, but did you notice the first thing? I believe it's Goose who's walking home or something. And then he sees two cops, and the two cops, they're looking for the killers. And they, put your hands up and this and that. Get down. Goose or Clipper or whichever one, or
it's Clipper.
Shaggy. Yeah, Clipper. Yeah. Clipper just keeps on walking, doesn't even pay any attention to the cops. He's walking right at them as well. But somebody who is behind Clipper gets caught, and the cops are like, well, he's moving, he's scared, he must be guilty. They kill him. And the first thing that they do is check his pockets. Which you see a lot. Every time the cops are in this and they've killed somebody or they find a dead body, the first thing they do is check pockets. Which I guess, at least for the police in the 60s and 70s in Brazil, is really saying something here, for sure. They're quite corrupt, basically. And we will only see more corrupt actions by the police. But that was definitely, like, they're not there to help. They're there to get their pay, basically do the bare minimum. Because you see him a few times back away from danger. Or maybe it's just the main, the warfare moment. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that a couple times in the movie, you see them go for the pocket right away. Sometimes they're definitely like pulling out the wallet and checking ID, but if there's money there, they take it and this kind of thing.
That's a pretty big part of the end of the movie too, but we'll get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially at this point, like we don't see what happens to Goose. We presume Goose leaves home because he just leaves, but not before smacking around little dice a little bit, which is funny. And then Shaggy tries to leave with his girl, but unfortunately the police see them because their car won't start, and Shaggy has to push the car. Shaggy is killed by the police. Interesting that like he doesn't even have a gun. Well, actually, he does, but like they just shoot him right away. And yeah, the tender trio, as they're called, are dead. They kind of no longer run the Rio anymore. And then the movie kind of flashes forward to the 1970s, and Rocket is a bit older, and he has like groovy friends in Rio. They hang out at the beach. Rocket likes taking photos. He has a very small camera, and he's trying to lose his virginity. It's weird that there's like an entire like sort of subplot where Rocket is
Yeah.
trying to lose his
It's
virginity.
I did not care. I didn't dislike it. I just felt like whatever. It didn't feel tacked on or anything, but it was just kind of like I don't know. Like Rocket doesn't feel that important to the story,
Yeah, no, that's precisely my
so
thought there.
it's just kind of like I guess he is a character, so we want to. It's nice to see him fully realized, and it's like the acting for Rocket is good for what he does, but he's basically passive through the whole movie. He gets in trouble. Oh well, Goose, by the way, has to run away because he is cuckolding Shorty, the
Hmm.
informant, who Shorty's wife got some advice from a neighborly elder woman, not too old, but older than her, who was like, "You got to get freaky in the bedroom. Try putting a banana in your vagina while he takes your ass or something like that." And she's going to try that while she's getting pounded, and then Shorty comes in, says some racially charged words, kills his wife with a shovel, tries to bury her, gets busted. Yeah, Goose slips away. Not before stealing from Lil Dice, and yeah, and then what's his name? Shaggy. Clipper got out, but to find God. But Shaggy pushing the car. His girlfriend's got the gun. He gets shot, dead. Tender Trio is gone. He's now Rocket's older. He's taking pictures. He's what's her name? Angelica.
Hmm.
This cutie that he really likes, but she's with another ginger blonde ginger
Tiago.
Tiago, yeah, who's a cokehead. And it was fun to see him throughout the movie.
Yeah,
He's
he teaches Benny to become a playboy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm forgetting what happens after he's taking pictures. I love when he's like, Tiago, can you move back a little bit? Perfect. And then you
Yeah,
can't even see his face.
yeah, he's just in
This is the
shadow.
kind of thing that I like about Rocket. There's like these little moments like this where anytime he's got the camera in his hands, it's very interesting because it's very subtle, but you can tell the kind of person that he is. He's a little bit petty, and I love it.
Yeah, he wants to impress Angelica, so he offers to get her some coke, and then he goes to see a friend that he knows, who he knows that he knows that friend deals, and I don't remember this friend's name. He plays a kind of a minor part here, a big part in the movie. And as he's dealing, Lil Ze knocks on the door and comes in. All the little dice actually comes in, and through another flashback again, flashback within a flashback, we find out that Lil Dice is the one who killed people at the motel because he had that dog with him. He was a verified sociopath, and
He's got a big smile. No, I don't think he's a sociopath. I think he's a psychopath
yeah, that yeah.
because he's like smiling when he's doing it, and just taking great joy in murder and his crimes. I don't know. I mean, we don't need to quibble over the specifics, but I feel like that's more psychopathic than
Yeah.
sociopathic. But maybe he's got a little bit of both in him. I don't know. Uh, anyway, continue.
Yeah, but we see that Lil Ze, who, as he's now known, is he killed Goose. Goose wanted to take some of Lil Dice's money, and Lil Dice wasn't having it, so he shot Goose afterwards. And Rocket remarks that now he has the chance to get revenge.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah. Because because Lil Zay, there's this whole story of the apartment, right? And there's that woman who is part of the drug trade and gives some stuff out for sexual favors, where she takes young men into her bedroom and does her business with them. And then time moves on. Carrot gets involved with the guy who's there, but that guy gets busted because he didn't pay off the cops. Turns out Blackie, I think was his name, is
yeah,
kind of running things too. That's when Lil Zay shows up with his gang, who, yeah, I'm we find out he's been executing everybody to be the boss. Yeah, but we don't find that out until another flashback later, which is shortly after. That's what I really hate about flashbacks. Like a flashback that, if this movie had only gone one flashback, like in media res, we flash back to when he's a kid and we show Rocket getting older over time. No problem coming back to the action again for me. But then it's like we have a flashback, we get half of the story of the flashback, and then we have to wait for another thing that till later in the story for a flashback that shows the rest of that flashback that we were already in. I hate that. And this seriously ruined the movie for me, from like probably what could have been, I don't know, not the best movie I watched this year, but top 10 maybe, to just being like, yep, pretty good. Anyway,
no,
there's
I get that. Like there are several points where Rocket says, "Oh, it's not time to talk about Knockout Ned now," and I'm like,
just shut
"Well,
the fuck up, Rocket.
yeah." Like, yeah, well, you shouldn't have mentioned him until he became relevant.
Yeah,
That's the
I
problem there.
I find it annoying. But we're seeing Lil Zay is on the war path to, as they say in The Wire, claim his corners. And he's an interesting figure because he is ruthless and psychopathic or sociopathic, but he tries to keep his community in order by laying down the law, and like there's no stick ups allowed. You can't, if anybody kills somebody, you will be killed as a warning to others. He's like outside protection, and a lot of people like respect him and like him. People around him, not his cronies, but other people do fear him. But some of the other people, like I guess the elderly and whatnot, because they know he's the one who's in charge. He's doing more for community policing than the police.
Yeah, that's precisely it. Like they've found a hero. Like he offers security, whereas the police will just arrest you, even if you haven't
Yeah.
committed a crime.
Even though he's simultaneously destroying the community through his drugs.
Yeah, yeah. It's like why again, like the movie points fingers without actually saying anything, because like if this were truly a functional society that cared for its people, why would Lil Zay need to exist?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think that's so bad. I think it is kind of nice to have something that just shows like this is. I did read that it's based on a novel that's based on true events, but not exactly exactly what happened, but I do feel, through fiction, it's telling the truth in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, sometimes I feel like you do need to point some fingers, um, and be more direct, at a specific thing, focus on one problem or whatever. But it's okay to have like, here's the reality of what, you know, it was like at that time.
Mm-hmm.
This problem, that problem. There came some good from that. But at the same time, there was some bad, and this kind of thing. This is okay. I do love the chapter. I feel like it could have been a perfect, it wouldn't have worked on its own, but it was like a really wonderful, I think it's the next chapter, a really wonderful encapsulation of who Rocket is. And probably the best part, I might be skipping ahead a little bit, but it's the part where he flirts with crime. I forget the name of that chapter. I think it's Flirting with Crime or something like that. And he gets Goose's old gun that he promised never to use. It's broken, which is great. He's got his friend with him, and who did they try to rob? Oh, they try to rob some guy who's well, Knockout Ned. We find out, who's on the bus and is just like a chill, cool dude,
Yeah.
who lets one of them on for free, and doesn't make him pay full fare for both of them. But he thought Knockout Ned is too cool and he felt too shy to do it. And then they find a bakery, but the girl there gave her number and she was a cutie and she was really nice and he couldn't do it either. And then they met somebody who was looking to go to El Barro or something. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's a town or a suburb or what of the growing Rio de Janeiro, but he's from Sao Paulo. And they're like, surely some loser from Sao Paulo can't be cool. And then he's like giving them drugs,
Yeah.
chatting them up, and they can't do it. I love this chapter. Like if we could have seen more of this, and like Rocket is a big part of the story, or just like the adventures of Rocket, not as a solo movie, but that could have been interesting too. But I don't know. I love that chapter. I thought it was really fun and charming because Rocket is interesting and he has these little quirks. Um, because I think if I remember right, he started to lose, and he was on the beach with Angelica, giving her pot. She was loving it. He was making his move, and then the runts show up.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I forgot to mention. And they just kill the vibe. And he gives them the weed, and Benny eventually makes his move on Angelica as well. And just other minor things and everything that's happened in his life, he's starting to realize like, well, you know what? Being a good guy being is for suckers,
Yeah.
and the
Honesty
only
is for
way,
suckers, as he
yeah,
says.
honesty is for suckers. So he flirts with crime or whatever the chapter is called, and then he just can't do it, which is a good thing. I mean, that shows he's like a good person in a terrible situation. But it's also just funny in the middle of this just like traumatizing crime movie where children are just doing the worst things possible to each other. This was like a moment of levity that was really fun and lighthearted.
Mm-hmm. Children are sent to their deaths. Also, Rocket tries to go on a straight and narrow at a supermarket job, but the runts
Oh
show
yeah,
up
yeah.
again, and they like when they steal some things. His boss assumes that Rocket was in on it,
That's right.
and so he gets fired without severance, so he can't buy a camera.
That's right. That's right. Well, I don't know. The whole movie is kind of a blur of violence to me, and I don't remember when what happens because there's flashbacks upon flashbacks.
Well, I do because I wrote it all down. So let me take you through it. It's after this point, like while Rocket is dealing with all this, that Benny and Tiago become friends.
Mm.
They become friends because like Benny like challenges Tiago to race on their bikes, and Tiago is ahead, but then he slows down because Benny might try to kill him if or he might not sell Tiago drugs if Tiago proves
That's
that
more
he's better.
important.
Yeah. So they become friends, and Benny becomes a playboy and takes Angelica, which honestly, that's fair. Benny is full of class and cool and just a down to earth kind of fella, keeping Lil Ze from indulging in the worst parts of his personality.
Yeah.
And then we see the runts, like they've been robbing people, and so Lil Ze's gotta kind of keep everyone, protected and whatnot. And so he decides to make an example of the runts, who
Yeah.
are like 8, 9, 10 years old. I can't really tell
Yeah.
their age.
Because Lil Ze is the person that you go to. The baker the baker that they stick up goes to Lil Ze for community policing, community protection. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, and the runts are like like two of them are captured because they scatter once Lil Zay shows up, and he has one of his lieutenants basically shoot the kids in like their hand or their feet, and I think they both choose their hands, but they end up getting shot in the feet. And then to further make an example out of one of them, the lieutenant shoots him in the head. It's very uncomfortable by the fact because again they're just kids.
Yeah.
But as
I
we see
stopped watching the
later,
movie for a little bit after that because I was like, I've seen too much.
yeah. But as Lil Zay, or as we see later in the movie, like maybe Lil Zay is right to do this because there's definitely a like a feeder system for producing more people who are exactly like Lil Zay. The things continue to go forward. Benny is being convinced by his girlfriend to just they just need to live a more peaceful life, and he's really not cut out to be a gang leader, so he decides to go to a farm to become a hippie.
Yeah. And he also feels that he doesn't want to deal with Lil Zay's worst tendencies anymore. He gives Rocket his first camera, but that doesn't last very long. Oh, he also because Lil Ze does not have full control over the criminal underground. He has some competition in Carrot, who was a friend of Benny's as well, and the only reason Carrot still is alive is because of Benny. Something that didn't get mentioned, the most important character is the city itself, of course, growing over time and becoming darker and more dangerous and this kind of thing. Benny wants to leave. He wants Lil Ze wants to kill Carrot. He's going on about this forever, even at the beginning of their takeover, which we find out at some point in one of the other flashbacks. At this time, Benny tells Lil Ze, "You need a girlfriend." At this send off for Benny, he tries to dance with a very beautiful girl. And she's like, "Oh no, sorry, I'm taken. I've got somebody," which just upsets him. And having a need for power and control and this kind of thing, he acts out. He takes that camera away. He fights with Benny. And I forget who it is.
Blackie, because
Blackie.
Lil Zay wanted to kill Blackie, and Benny was like, "No, we're not going to
That's
do
right. That's
that."
right.
And so, like Blackie is kind of aligned with Carrot, and he shows up to
Yeah.
the party intent on killing Lil Zay, which probably would have solved a whole lot of problems, but created more in the process.
Yeah.
And
Killed Benny instead
yeah,
by accident.
yeah.
This led to many, many bad things. I don't know if you've seen Legend of the Galactic Heroes, but this exact thing, it's like, oh god, I forget the name of the guy who's trying to become the leader of the empire, but it's like a space opera anime, which is incredible. And the blonde character whose name I'm forgetting has a conciliary type figure that he listens to and grew up with through it, and they've known each other their whole life. He listens to him and really respects his opinion. And that guy, Kirkiais, who's my favorite character, like reins him in and guides him, and this kind of thing. Now, the situations of them being separated is different. It's not Kirkiais deciding to leave on his own. Some other minister kind of pushes him out so he can have more, be the one in the new guys, the guy running for the emperorship, for the empire, to be a bigger voice in his ear, and keep Kirkiais at a distance to help him. Anyway, Kirkiais, through a series of very unfortunate events, similar to this, dies. There's a ceremony, Kirkiais dies, and nothing good happens after that.
Yeah. The classic
just
trope
like in this movie.
of the madman who has a friend who keeps him down to earth, and then that friend dies, and the monster is unleashed.
Yeah. And this police protection, community protection that Lil Ze had been offering is gone. It doesn't matter anymore, because I might be skipping a couple scenes. We can get back to them, but if I recall, if I saw the same image right, he finds that girl again with the intent to have a good time, with his gang behind him. Rocket says the problem is that he is ugly, and I was thinking like, I thought he was fine looking. I didn't think he was ugly, but Rocket says the problem for Lil Ze is that he's ugly.
His soul is ugly, and that makes you ugly.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, his physical appearance is perfectly fine. I thought he was a strapping young lad, but his soul is pitch black in the depths of hell, and this purgatory becomes hell because that girl that he wanted to dance with was taken by none other than Knockout Ned. Lil Ze rapes the girlfriend,
Pretty
causes trouble.
extreme.
Yeah, pretty.
And Ned is
graphic.
forced to watch.
Yep. Knockout Ned can't even look at her anymore. He goes back to his home and he wants to. They let him live. They shoot right in front of him and let him live. And he's talking to his family about it, and he's like, I don't know why he let me live. And then it cuts to Lil Ze like, why did I let that guy live? Let's go back.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
His brother stands up for him when they come a knocking at the door, and tries to kill Lil Ze, and then he gets blasted by everybody. And the uncle also gets killed in not really the crossfire, but with a stray bullet, or 300 of them at least, because they just start blasting. But he only gets him in the arm or under the arm. Knockout Ned takes justice into his own hands, kills one of his men, scares him off. He becomes the new hero, but he needs some kind of protection. He can't fight this army alone. Ends up going to Carrot.
And Carrot, like, I think Carrot knows what he has on his hands, like the potential to now be the new Lil Ze and kind of rule over. So, like, he's he's using Ned as a means of furthering his own power in the community.
Yeah.
And I think like the movie kind of has it like that, like, oh, like he's helping Ned get his revenge, but Carrot wants more than that.
Yeah, because they force him. He says Ned doesn't want to do it if innocents get killed. He only has a personal vendetta against Lil Ze. But they don't have a gun for him, and they want to rob a gun store to get some ammo and equipment and more guns. And Ned doesn't want to do it, and he's like, "Well, if you don't help us, then you're out, and you're not gonna be part of us." Ned agrees, and this is a slippery slope in its own right to hell, because Ned's morals very quickly go by the wayside, and one innocent gets killed, and then another, and then a third, and the third one is Ned, who's now just a criminal, and no better than anybody else. He's not a hero, and there is no justice in this poverty-stricken world that they live in this favela, favela, favela. Yeah,
It's just nonstop gang violence, violence begetting more violence.
yeah. Children getting involved, young children.
People are signing up to die, as Rocket says. Like,
Yeah,
there's a
basically.
part where Carrot is like trying to recruit this child into the fight, and Ned's like, what are you doing? He's just gonna die in a week. And the boy also says, I'm here to avenge my father, which resounds with Ned. But little does Ned know, who this child is going to get revenge on.
Yeah, we have yet to get to that flashback.
Yeah, correct.
Wonderful. Um, Lots of violence happens between the two. Rocket starts working at the newspaper, delivering newspapers, but he's got a friend in the office that he can talk to. He's a big fan of the photography work that the main photographer does. Hilariously, I actually, one thing about the recruitment part, it's like very darkly funny how they just keep recruiting. Like, oh, what's your reason? Oh, they're like the reasons that they give are ridiculous too. Like, oh, Carrots. I forget who says what, but like, Carrots gang members kicked me. I want to kill them. Here's your gun.
Yeah, not exactly the best of or
Yeah.
noblest of reasons.
Lil Ze said something bad about my mom. Here's your gun. Like the reasons they give get even more ridiculous as it goes on. And then the one kid who has a good reason is like 8 years old. I want revenge for my father. Yeah, the violence is getting worse and worse. Knockout Ned sees the little boy from earlier. I think it was was it the little boy that killed his runt friend that he found in the street?
Something like that.
I think so, or maybe some other little boy that Carrot had recruited. And he gets shot, and he's hurt. He's getting interviewed by the news. He's in the newspaper. This makes Lil Ze so angry because it makes him look weak, and he's having his gang members read the paper, find my name.
Very vain kind of person.
Yeah,
Because it's
definitely.
like, oh, they want to focus on Ned. Ned's the real power here, and Lil Ze's like, no, I'm the king of the
Yeah,
the mountain.
we'll show them who's boss. This really reminded me again of The Wire with Marlo Stanfield. My name is my name. It's a little bit different, but what's his name? Rocket is getting involved with the newspaper. He gets a camera. The camera Benny gave him. How did he get that? Lil Ze gave it to him. Why? Because he wanted photos of his gang with
Mm-hmm.
guns to show he's the boss. He gets those developed and finds out that his photo is front page, baby. He made it. And Rocket is terrified. He's afraid to go back home because he thinks, oh no, I was supposed to give these. I didn't. They weren't supposed to be on. I'm gonna get killed. You don't understand what you did. And he like screams at Marina, who's this cute office girl, who tells him, don't worry, you're gonna get paid. Is there anything else I can do to help you? Oh, you want to come into my house for safety? Okay. You want to come into my womb for safety too? Okay. He
I
finally
do
gets
like how
laid.
Rocket is worried about all this, and Lil Zay is like, "Wow, cool! I'm in the paper."
I love that. He's so happy. Oh, we got to get him back to take more photos.
Yeah.
More violence happens. Um, I believe, and then I think they're like preparing for a big war event or whatever.
There's actually we see the cops selling guns to Carrot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So like they say, you know, like let them kill each other and whatnot, but that's like the cops' job is for community protection, and they're not even doing that. They're allowing a gang war to happen, probably so they can get big arrests later. But it's very clear the police don't want to do their jobs.
Yeah, so many different parts of this movie made me realize, like, although I grew up poor, I did not grow up anything like this. I am so grateful
Yeah.
for what I have had in life. I really treasure that I never went through this kind of hell, because I just constantly was feeling like, what the fuck do you do to get out of this? Like, how the fuck do you even survive? What is wrong with this world? Even like, there are forces outside of their control that are affecting their lives very negatively, like the police and I guess politicians as well, who don't have a finger pointed at them. But even then, it's like, I know that people are just looking to survive or like thrive in hell or whatever, but God, I don't know. I just felt like I am very ignorant of the world and its woes. I am just a foolish person who knows nothing and am horrified by reality, while I was watching this movie. And yeah, seeing the cops selling the guns was another one of those scenes, which was much subtler in a sense. I mean, it was just like severe, terrible corruption versus the violence, but so not really subtle, but less. I don't know. Made me just feel like I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Hmm.
And that's when
But
the chicken scene happens.
yeah, yeah, like the flashback finally catches up to the movie.
Kindly ends, yes.
Yes, and the police show the police like Rocket was caught between the police and Lil Zay, but Lil Zay didn't really want to hurt him because he was happy about his photo being in the paper.
Yeah,
But the police back off because they're like, let them kill each other. And so Carrot shows up. There's a gunfight that takes place. Ned is killed in revenge because the
fine.
child who joined, who said he wanted to avenge his father, it turns out that Ned killed one of the bank guards.
Yeah.
And that
The
was
third
that.
person, when the exception becomes the rule.
Yeah.
When Ned became no longer was, because before the first two, I guess, were like Carrot kills somebody and then you don't see the other death, but or maybe you do, and I blinked my eyes when it happened or something. But this only happens because Ned and Otto, I believe was his name, are in the alleyway, and Ned is like, "Are you okay? Come get you. Carrot comes by. Lil Ze is has been hit. Let's get to him. All right. He tries to run off. Flashback. Ugh. Then we find out who killed his father and who he wants revenge on, and so on and so forth. He
Hmm.
kills. Oh, no, it seemed like, was he killed? Because it said he went to the hospital. He was hospitalized, and then you see him interviewed. But that was like the same interview from before.
No, that no, he just dies. Like the first time he was interviewed, this time he's dead. He was shot and he falls to the ground
Well,
and dies.
I could have, yeah, that's what I thought had happened. But then I could have sworn that Rocket said that he had been hospitalized, and then you see the interview again, because the first time you see it, or you see another interview, or it's the same interview, but the first time you see it, it's black and white, right? And then the second time it's in color. Am I crazy?
No, I don't think so, buddy.
I am certain I'm gonna go back. I know you
Okay.
see the
Hmm.
interview two times. But it's the same interview. He says the same thing, but it's like a different camera or something. So I was confused by that. And I swear he said he was hospitalized, but that didn't make sense because he was lying dead on the ground. Am I hallucinating?
I don't remember that. I don't remember him living. I just remember him getting shot and
I
dying.
remember him getting shot and killed too, and then he said he was. I might have just hallucinated that Mandela effect. I
Um,
was confused by that because you see the interview and it looks different than the first one, but the same things are being said. So I was like, uh,
hmm.
doesn't matter. Sorry. I don't know how to watch movies.
Yeah.
I believe he died and that maybe I misunderstood the hospitalized line or just imagined it. I believe he died. I don't think he survived and was interviewed again, but when I saw it, I was like, this interview is the same, but it looks different. What the?
I'll look it
And
up after this. But
yeah, he's
uh,
dead. I'm certain he's dead.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. Anyway.
Question mark for Ned. Lil Zay and Carrot are both arrested because the truck that he was in crashed. And then we see like the police taking Lil Zay away, and Rocket follows the police cars and takes pictures from like a hidden place.
Mhm.
Lil Zay, or like the police take away Lil Zay's money, and he's just like, "Oh no, what am I gonna do?" And all of his like gang members kind of walk away at that point. And at this point, the Runts show up again, and much like vultures who pick apart the dead, they kill Lil Zay for revenge, but also just to take what he anything that he has left. And yeah, Lil Zay is unfortunately dead at the hands of the new runts, the new people who are going
The
to
new
one day
age.
take over the community.
Yeah.
And at this point, Rocket has a decision to make. He can publish a photo of Lil Zay, his dead body, which will get him a job at the newspaper. Or he can take a photo of the police interacting with Lil Zay and taking his money, which he notes will probably get into a magazine, get him a lot of notoriety, but will also get him in trouble with the police. And he chooses to use the photo of Lil Zay, just him
Yeah.
dead, which is interesting.
I felt like they were very excited to get photos of this criminal underworld because like the photojournalists couldn't get in there without danger, but Rocket could, and I did kind of get the feeling, just to some extent, that it was also a bit critical of the media. Maybe the news would have ran the story of the police. I doubt it though, because then they also would have been in trouble, not just Rocket, right?
Hmm.
So big trouble there.
Yeah,
But
it's
I did feel it was critical pointing a finger at the media as well to some extent, with like through the vessel of Rocket making that decision. Like, if you just think about it, it's strange that they're so excited. I mean, it makes sense they would want the photos, but then you're like sensationalizing it a little bit, like all this crime and so on and so forth. And also they would have to make a decision. Do we want the ire of the not the Sao Paulo, the Rio de Janeiro police on that? Probably not. They would have made the political decision to slip that one under, or make a deal with the police or something like that. I don't know. That's thinking outside of the movie, but I did feel that it was critical of the media.
Yeah. Um, it just goes to show, like, sometimes the true causes of suffering and pain and whatnot don't get held to account. So the system, keeps going the way that it's going to go. And even if Rocket were to, publish those photos, would anything be done? If politicians don't want the system to, be changed, that they'll put their thumb on the scale. Anyways, though, we come to the end of the movie, we see the runts kind of talking about running the community next, wanting to be just like Lil Ze. The cycle continues. The favela remains the favela. You haven't changed the conditions of the community, and so that entire gang warfare system is likely to start anew. Oh no, that's bad. Movie ends there.
Hooray!
Life is full of suffering and pain.
By the way, he did die. Oh, you know what? The hospitalized, the line about being hospitalized was after he got shot in the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's why he said he was hospitalized. But fucking goddamn flashbacks. That must have been like a flashback that just suddenly happened or something.
It happens
I
like
don't
30
know.
different times, so don't sweat it.
Whatever. Okay, mystery solved. I did look it up. He did die, but while you were talking, I was trying to figure out. Well, I thought he died. I didn't disagree, but I was just confused. But now I realize I must have clearly not been paying attention for like at least 30 seconds or something, because suddenly there was the interview again. Same words, but I was like, I don't know. And I heard hospitalized, and I was like, how is he alive and saying the same exact thing? Okay, he was hospitalized for getting shot by Otto the first time. I missed that. My bad.
Yeah. So as I said, I thought this movie was cool. Benny is very cool. The music is good, and I like, as I said before, I like the themes of heaven and hell and being stuck in purgatory. But the again, like, why is this focused on Rocket so much? And it can be pretty vague about the systems in place. I will note that there is actually a sequel series to this. They made a mini series called City of God: The Fight Continues, which takes place like 20 years after the City of God, so like sometime in the 2000s. I haven't watched it. I don't know much about it, but that exists.
I will not be watching it.
Yeah. I doubt it's any as good as the original. Although maybe like focusing like on the systems and whatnot, it becomes The Wire, and Brazil kind of reverse engineered The Wire. Maybe something
Came out at the same time, 2002.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, time for the age-old question. Which character do you relate to most?
I can't say Rocket because he's a real geek of a person, just like a huge loser. I think I most identify with Knockout Ned. Just trying to get by and live in his community. And like, in comes somebody who wants to make his life miserable because that person isn't happy with their life. And I do think that if, in Knockout Ned's position, I'd probably end up turning into something that he becomes clearly unhappy with all the violence that he has to do just to get revenge.
Mm.
Be careful when fighting monsters that you do not become a monster yourself.
I look forward to your criminal era and hope to reap the benefits of it myself.
Yeah, you'll definitely be like the Benny to my Lil Ze. Although I do think our roles are kind of reversed at times, so I'm more of like a Benny to your Lil Ze. But I think we could both be Lil Ze if we try hard enough.
Let's go. Let's go. I think for me, I don't do drugs, but maybe Angelica. I'm just trying to vibe. Just want to like relax and enjoy my life. And when trouble comes by, such as the runs, I'm gonna peace out. All right. See you later. Goodbye. I'm gonna go enjoy my life in peace, far, far away from this rabble.
No, that makes sense. You are definitely an Angelica type. You don't do drugs, but we can always change that by getting you some drugs. So yeah. I guess the next part is what movie do we watch for January? I was thinking, and I don't think we've watched any Indigenous American cinema yet. And so we're going to watch Powwow Highway. So that is on the agenda for next month. Have you ever heard of it before?
Nope.
All right. Well, then, yeah, I'll let you know how you can access that. But yeah, we reached the end of the video. So yeah, great talking about City of God. This was our first Portuguese language film and our first Brazilian film that we talked about here. So a lot of fun.
And for South American film.
Yes, that too. That one movie that we watched with the traveling conquistador, we didn't watch it for this, but you made me watch it. What culture was that from?
That was from Mexico.
Okay, not South
$4.99.
Yeah, that's a good one if you have anyone out there needs to.
That's a movie.
Yeah, it's certainly a fascinating structure movie right there. But yeah, if you have anything to say about what we just watched here, if you have any thoughts on City of God, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to see more about movies and books. Subscribe to Lucas's channel as well if you want to get good insight into Final Fantasy and other such games and books from time to time. And until then, we wish you the best of luck in your favela gang fighting travels. Hopefully not. Farewell.
Farewell.